Hey, good morning. Welcome to Hobby Evolution, episode 1102. It is Thursday. It's the day. This is how pathetic my life has become. I'm looking forward to tonight's live, our little YouTube live sale, bargain box bulk sale, inventory. So I've just been kind of going through ideas in my head because I want to make this a semi-regular event. Because I have so much shit that I need to get rid of. It's like, hey, let's just do it YouTube. So we'll see how tonight goes. There's going to be 15 or 16. It's in the description. I can do the math. 7 baseball boxes, medium flat rate boxes. That's a football box, but they're the longer ones. 7 baseball, 4 football, 2 basketball, 1 soccer, 1 hockey, 1 non-sport. I'm also going to tinker with, if I have time, I want to do a couple other sales just to kind of, we're going to use this as a test. If it's successful, we'll keep doing sales like this. If it's not successful, we'll say we tried and we won't do it anymore. But I want to tinker around with, we'll do the bargain box. And I think that could be, if it's successful, that's something we could do on a semi-regular basis just because of all the bargain boxes I buy. And it's good for me to switch out my inventory, because when you really come down to think about it, well, that's your cherry-picked inventory, but it's only been cherry-picked by 30 or 40 people. And I've picked stuff out of there, and I'm still like, how come nobody bought this for a quarter? So there's definitely a market. So one man's junk is another man's treasure, whatever that saying goes. So we're going to do the flat rate boxes, and then I'm going to tinker around with maybe like a dollar box sale, because I've got a bunch of dollar boxes. I also have to remember that I need stuff to sell at the Janesville Card Show next Sunday. So that is a week from Sunday, Janesville, Wisconsin, Holiday Inn Banquet Hall, right there off Interstate 39. So that's where I'll be next Sunday. So I'm going to take, since I'm pillaging my bargain boxes, my quarter boxes, Janesville will be dime boxes. So if you're in Janesville, it'll be a dime box day. And my dollar boxes, I don't think I have any supplies left. I always say I'm due for a reorder, but I've been making do with the supply. I'm out of like new penny sleeves to sell, and I'm out of top loaders, and I still have plenty of card savers. So no, I won't have any supplies with me, but I think Paul's going to be there, and Paul's the supply guy. So tonight, 7:30 p.m. Central. I don't know why I set it for, why did I set it for 7:30? I think it's because 7 o'clock's kind of cutting it. Depends on what. So if I set, like, if it was last night, we did sushi last night. If I set it for 7 p.m. Wednesday night, last night, I would have been late because we kind of ordered sushi late. And here's the thing. So we've been going, it's Takara 88, downtown Middleton, our favorite sushi place. My wife and I have been going there since we started dating almost 10 years ago. And like, we know the owner, sweet lady. She gave us a wedding gift when we got married. I think she gave us an engagement gift. She gave us a wedding gift. They hook us up with free. I think they hook everybody up with free desserts on their birthday. But they're very nice, and their sushi is delicious. But they always mess up our order. But it's because it's not like, my wife likes to order off menu. She gets it from her mom. And I don't know if we've ever gone somewhere and they've ordered straight off the menu. It's like, I'd like this, but can I substitute this for that and that for that and this for this? Oh my God. And then they get to me and I'm like, I'll have the steak medium rare, mashed potatoes. I'm easy. So my wife's sushi roll order, typically we get 4 sushi rolls, Two of the rolls we share, we both like, and then I get a roll that I like, and then my wife gets a roll that she likes. So the roll that my wife gets is called the Godzilla roll, and it's like deep fried. It's what do you call that? There's a name for it. I can't remember, but they're actually pretty good. But it's just I'll have like one. I'll have like one of those pieces. And so the Godzilla roll comes with like a spicy sauce on top, drizzled. And so my wife doesn't like, my wife doesn't even have black pepper. Like that's how spicy averse she is. So she orders the Godzilla roll, no spicy sauce. So like 70% of the time, they fail to follow the instructions, and the sushi roll comes out, the Godzilla roll comes out with the spicy sauce. And so they have to take it back. So this is just something that in 10 years I've become accustomed to. It does get annoying though when you order carry out. Like we mainly order carry out when we do enjoy going there like in the summer and the warm weather months and sitting out. They have a patio right there on the main downtown street. So it's kind of nice in the summer. Otherwise, we just order carry out most of the time. So I go pick it up. And this happened. The last time was bad because it was like a Friday night. So they're like swamped. So I had to sit there for a while because the Godzilla roll came with spicy sauce. So Erica is the owner's name, sweet lady. And she knows our order. Like my wife can call, and like if Erica answers, she'll like put the order in. Or actually, I can put the, like, I'll call and I'll be like, either one of us can call, be like, we'd like the rainbow, the dragon, the wasabi stringer, and the Godzilla. No spicy sauce on the Godzilla. And they're like, okay, this is for Amy. Yeah, how'd you know? Well, 10 years of that. Same order, basically. So I go in, order's ready. Hey, and Erica's at working the counter. And she knows. She's like, I better check for Amy. She opens it up, opens the Godzilla, and I could see the look of defeat on her face. And I'm like, there's spicy sauce on there, isn't there? She's like, I'll be right back. So she goes, tells the sushi chef. So she's like, I'm sorry. And so I think she like made it like, you have to fix this now. Like, make a new one now. And so we got it, and I'm like, don't worry, we're used to it. And I don't think she wanted to hear that. I don't think she wanted to hear we're used to you screwing up our order every time. But it was good. And she did get, they fixed it fast, and it was good. So we had sushi last night. So if you like sushi and you're in the Madison area, hit up Takara, downtown Middleton. I wonder how the Godzilla, out of all this time, I don't know if I've ever even had the Godzilla. They've, hundreds of rolls we've probably ordered. They've brought out with the spicy. I don't know if I've ever actually eaten, because I would eat it because the roll that I, like last night's roll that I got is spicy. Like there's jalapeno in it, the wasabi stringer. So I'm like, I'll do spicy. I don't like, I'm not going to do like the Buffalo Wild Wings smoking hot or spicy hot challenge. I don't like that type of spice, but I like a little kick. So we had sushi last night. What else is going on? You know what I did last night? So I got my shipping caught up for my handling time. And instead of coming in and listing, shipping and listing and shipping, I decided, you know what? And I did have, I got a mail day from Dennis in Michigan. So I added that to the count. And I'm like, I'm getting really close to 1 million Cubs cards. And they're just scattered everywhere. I mean, they're in, like, I have my Cubs space is on the shelves in my card warehouse. But they're like in no particular order. Like I've done sorting in the past, like as I've, over the years of collecting the million Cubs, I have done some sorting. I was sorting by player last name, and that's what I continue to sort by early on. When COVID first hit, before I went volume selling on eBay, before eBay lifted all the free listing restrict, they went from 10,000 to 50,000, 60,000 listings. Before that happened, I was spending my time getting my Cubs collection organized. And so at that time, during the first few weeks of COVID, I was just sorting into so I was putting Javier Baez, Ernie Banks, Ron Santo, Chris Bryant, Anthony Rizzo, those is what I was setting aside. And then eBay, hey, here's a whole bunch of free listings. And I'm like, I've got a lot of stuff. I've got a lot of time. Let's go to eBay. And so I dropped my Cubs collecting, sorting, and started listing on eBay. But now as I approach a million, it's that's the second most common question I get asked after, you have any duplicates? Oh, I have duplicates. There's 224,117 unique Cubs cards dating back to 1876. Actually, I think it's 1886, I think. Cubs were part of the National League, the White Stockings, in 1876 when the National League opened. But I think the first card is 1886 or maybe 1884. It's somewhere. It's old. It's really old. So anyway, that's the most common question. Do you have any duplicates? You got any Ryan Sandberg cards? Oh yeah, I got some Ryan Sandberg cards. I sure do. Would you think that I have 40,000 Ryan Sandberg cards? So where was I going with this? Oh, second most asked question. Well, what are you going to do when you hit a million? Are you going to collect 2 million? No, I am not. No, I'm not. I'm going to organize them. And this is I actually, as time went on, I didn't want it to end this fast. However, looking back, I'm glad that it is coming because the less active I am, because I haven't done trades in a couple years, and it's just not buying bulk Cubs, trading for bulk, that's just not so the volume is not a thing. It's more quality right now. And as I've approached, once I hit 900,000, it's okay, I don't need to hit it. Once I get to 100,000, I can find bulk pretty easy in that last 100,000. But when you're at 400,000, it's I need to find a lot of bulk to get to a million. So it's been quality focused here over the last year or so. So my life's work then will be to organize. So I started thinking, and I sorted about 5,000 cards last night, I think. And anybody, and I'm sure everybody in this chat, watching, listening, has sorted, and how long it takes to sort 5,000 cards. So I'm okay, if I did this every night, which I won't, just time won't allow that. But say I did, how long that would take? 5,000, that would take 200 days, which actually doesn't seem like too long. It's less than a year, but there's no way. Because tonight we've got my sale, the bargain box sale that's scrolling at the bottom of your screen. So there's not going to be any Cubs sorting today because I'm going to be shipping. I've got a list. I only listed 75, 80 cards yesterday. So I've got a list. I've got to ship. I've got to prepare for the sale. Tomorrow, I'm going to have a whole bunch of boxes to, hopefully, if you buy them, to take to the post office, flat rate boxes. Probably have to list and ship some more tomorrow. There's card show days. And when I have card show days, I get behind on shipping. I'm going to be gone for spring training for 8 days. There's not going to be any sorting. So, you start adding all these days. It's damn, it's going to take me 17 years to sort all these cards. But it is fun, relaxing, and it really brings back the hobby to me. Even though it's my baseball cards or my business, But it is a nice, like, I had the Wisconsin, although the Wisconsin Badger game, Victor's Wolverines upset my Badgers. I want to get into college basketball real quick too. So it's just kind of relaxing. Had some sushi. My belly's full of sushi. Come downstairs, turn on the Badger game, get upset, get pissed off with Wisconsin. But I'm sorting my Cubs cards and having a good time. College basketball, man. So it's funny because last night the Badgers Wolverines game was on at 6, and I thought my Western Illinois Leathernecks played at 7:30 against Little Rock in the Ohio Valley Conference. So we have our sushi. I come downstairs. It's getting close to 7:30. It's like a tight game between Wisconsin and Michigan. I'm like, shit. I don't want to miss, like, I'd rather watch the Western game than Wisconsin. Like, I'll choose the Leathernecks because they're fun to watch. They're my alma mater. Exciting season for the Leathernecks. So I flip it over to ESPN Plus, and I'm scrolling. And usually because I watch Western, like, they pop up in one of the early screens. Like, I'm not finding it. So I have to use the search tab, type in Western, search Thursday at 7:30. Son of a biscuit. So it's tonight. Tip off of the Leathernecks the same time. And I can't have it on my TV because YouTube will say, oh, nope, you can't do that. Bastards. So I guess I could, like, just do it from my phone. No, I don't want to do that. I could do it from my phone in the rec room, and no. It's just, this is my comfort zone for filming video. So but here's my beef with college basketball. So I go last night watching the Badgers lose against Michigan, and I'm like, God, you can't lose these games. They lost to Nebraska a few days ago. Now they're losing at Michigan. You can't lose these games. Now it's like if Western loses to Little Rock tomorrow, it's like, yeah, you can lose. That's fine. It's so different when you're a mid-major because, Wisconsin, if they start stringing, they should never have. Okay, I got two beefs with college basketball. My first beef will carry on with where I was going with this, but in mid-major basketball, wins don't matter. Regular season wins don't matter unless you win like 31 games. Well, then it's like, okay, now you have an outside shot at being a bubble team or what do you call it? You're in the dance. You're in the big dance. Whatever. I can't remember the name. It escapes me. Anyway, tip of my tongue. Western Illinois, they're 16-12 or whatever. It's like, they're not going to get in the tournament unless they win their conference tournament. They could go winless in the regular season. They have to just string together 4 or 5 wins in the conference tournament. They win the conference tournament, they're in the big dance. Regular season games mean nothing. Zilch, zip, nada, zero. I mean, for seeding purposes, but doesn't matter if you're better than the other team. Seeds don't matter. Seeds don't matter. You got to play the best team anyway. It's a tournament. You got to play the best team anyway, unless another team upsets them. But again, that's what you're gunning for. So that's what annoys me about mid-major, just college basketball. Like, the regular season means nothing. Now, in the past, and this just changed either this year or last year, the regular season champions of every conference, if they weren't in the NCAA tournament, they were automatically qualified for the NIT, which nobody cares about anymore anyway. But that is no longer the case. They took away the automatic qualifier for mid-majors in the NIT. So, which, who cares? You want to go to the big dance. You want to get that TV time. So that's my peeve with college basketball. My second peeve with college basketball, rankings. So this isn't really with college basketball. This is with sports writers. I guess I just have a peeve with sports writers because the Hall of Fame voters are idiots. The guys that rank the college basketball, and I know a couple of them personally. Here's my beef, though. Wisconsin beat Marquette earlier this season. Marquette was at the time ranked 3rd in the country, and Wisconsin beats them and moves up to, like, I don't know, 15. They say they were 24 the week before. They string a couple wins together. They beat number 3 Marquette. They moved to 15 or 20 in the top 25. Then they beat a bunch of unranked teams And all of a sudden they keep winning. And now they're 6th in the country. Like, wait, they beat Marquette and they were 20th. And now they've beat the Sisters of the Poor and everybody else. And now they're 6th. And they lose to Nebraska. They drop to 11th. Now they lose to Michigan. Now they're probably going to drop back to 20th where they were before. Like, the people that rank college, they don't, it's not like, was Wisconsin the 6th best team when they beat Marquette? No. Were they the 6th best team last week? No. They should not have been ranked 6th. I don't know why the ranking just go, well, they were 10th last week and they beat this team. It's like, no, this makes no sense. And if they lose to a good team, it still hurts their stuff. Like, just because they lost, I don't. Yeah. So those are my 2 pet peeves with college basketball. Let's go to the chat. Why don't we? We're already 20 minutes in. Low Roller Scratcher says I'm late. I think I was only 3 minutes late. Good morning, Kyle. What's going on? David, what's happening? I was not 30 minutes late. See, where it was. So Low Roller says, this is why he was always late in school when he was younger. No, that's not correct. If you haven't paid it, see, this is why Low Roller Scratcher, he never paid attention in school. He was while I was coming into class 15 minutes late, Low Roller Scratcher was sleeping on his desk, not paying attention in class. We go live at 7 a.m. every weekday morning. And today I was late by 3 minutes. And yesterday, I think I was on time yesterday. 2 days ago, I was like 15 minutes late. 7 a.m. Central. Pay attention, Low Roller Scratcher. Victor, what's going on? Good morning. Charlie's in the house. What's going on? Listing and shipping and coffee? Oh, my. Charlie and Stuart having some coffee, listing some cards. Low Roller Scratcher. There you go. He's on a roll. Philly Joe, good morning. Here's to an awesome Thursday. Here, here. Kyle says, settle down, LRS. He's not late just because he sets the stream up. And I know why he thinks I'm late. It's because I don't change the time when I go live. When I first started going to YouTube, I started changing it to 7 a.m. and then I just forgot, and I continue to forget. And only one person doesn't understand that, and that's Low Roller Scratcher. Peter, what's going on? Good morning. Joe Torado, what's up? Good morning. Jamie's here. In the car listening. Awesome. Drive safely. Dan, what's going on? Boston Smoke. Good morning. Donald's in the house. Good morning. Brian says it's 8:04. LRS is nuts. Boom Slang is here. What's up? JW, good morning. Low Roller says I should join. I considered it a while back, but now I just have no interest. We're going to see how YouTube Live goes. And just a YouTube Live sale right here on the channel. That way I don't have to deal with whatnot platforms but it's also I actually talked about this in the Hobby Evolution Facebook group. If you're not a part of the Facebook group, check it out. Go to Facebook, type in Hobby Evolution in the search bar, should bring it up. And we'll get you approved. It's like a private group because if you open it up to the public, you get all those spam like ads like, hey, here's a Hobby Evolution t-shirt. And it's like, has nothing to do with Hobby Evolution or anybody. So that's why that's why John Keating created it as a private group. I can't take credit. I talked about it for a long time. And then all of a sudden, John Keating reaches out to me and he's like, hey, I created this for you. Hey, thank you. That 70s Card Show. So in the Facebook group, check it out. Where was I? Oh, somebody had asked about opening a second eBay store, which I think was a topic on here a few weeks ago or maybe a couple months ago. And I gave kind of my insight on why I won't open a second eBay store. And just because I laid out a few, like 3 things why I'm not going to. Those things may not impact you, but they're very important to me. They may not be. Maybe the bottom line dollar is more important to you. To me, it's the branding, it's the inventory. I think the most critical part to volume selling is big inventory. And when you open 2 eBay stores, you're splitting your inventory. you're competing against yourself. And so that's one of the main reasons I don't want to do that. But another thing was, it's also another platform. When you open a second eBay store, it's not connected to your first eBay store. So that's another, like, I don't want to sell on Sportlots, ComC, whatnot, because I want to keep it simple. Now YouTube Live tonight, it's basically a separate platform. You know, why don't I do Twitter stack sales? Because I don't want to because when I do the sale tonight, eBay's really easy because I put stuff for sale, you buy it, you pay for it, eBay handles everything. I just go in, okay, these are the items I need to ship. When it's on YouTube Live, that's why we're going to keep it to like 15, 16, maybe up to 20, depends on what we do, transactions. So I don't really have to handle 200 different orders and track down, okay, I need your address, I need payment, send payment here. I have to do all that. eBay does all that for me. So that's another reason why I don't like doing multi-platforms. We're going to try this out. Maybe it's a pain in the ass for me. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's a rousing success and I need to open my mind to, okay, maybe I could handle some other platforms. So I think that's something also as I approach, my max for the premium store. I think I'm already pretty set on going to the anchor store. But it's a significant, it's going from $60 to $300 a month. So once I hit that, now do I focus on, okay, now I need to be even more diligent on what I list and start listing do I seek out higher end bulk? So, these are all things, it's kind of a day by day. Sometimes it's like, damn, I'm selling nothing but 99-cent cards today. And then the next day, all of a sudden I get what I need in orders. And it's like, okay, I'm good. So every day is different. That's kind of why I like doing what I do. Every day is different. So whatnot, I considered it, because I watched a few sales. Mikey did a sale. Ty Chasing Cardboard did a sale. Ethan Roberts has a buddy that's on whatnot. So they were doing something one night. So I was watching them and I'm like, this might be fun. But then it's like, I have my own audience that I know and trust. So I'm not tonight's sale. I'm not advertising this. I'm probably going to put a tweet out today, but I'm not like advertising to Twit. Like this is kind of an exclusive for you guys that listen every day on Hobby Evolution because I know you and trust you. And, I know like there's a lot of resellers in this group. And I think this gives you an opportunity. I've had many of you reach out like, hey, I'd be interested in those bulk boxes. And I've just never taken the time to put things together, but I have over the past week. So we're going to do this. And I talked about it last summer and last fall, like in the winter, I've got a lot of time. We're going to do something special. And I never did until now as spring is near. So, but again, like I'll reiterate, if it's a success, we'll keep doing it. So it just kind of depends on how it goes. If I only sell a couple boxes, I probably won't do it again because I took the time to make 16 boxes. But if all 16 sell and we have success, maybe I throw, okay, well, what else do I have laying around? You want this? And we'll see if how it goes. So I have no expectations. I'm going into this like, if things don't sell, I just won't do it again. If things sell and it's a success, we'll do this again. So we shall see. Corey, what's going on? Good morning from Mile High, Colorado. Shane's here. Good morning. Bink Scott says Bobby Witt sales are up. Mine are not. Nobody's buying my Bobby Witt cards. And I don't think they're overpriced either. And everything has an offer. So even if they are overpriced, throw me an offer. Harlan is here. What's going on? Buy my Bobbies. Shane says, speaking of B-dubs, Blaze, do you call it? So I have a pet peeve. And some of you are going to be like, you have a pet peeve about how people say it when I call it Rallo and ibuprofen. There's no R in ibuprofen. I have a pet peeve with people that call it BW3s. it grinds my gears. I don't know why. Actually, it doesn't really bother me that much. It's B-dubs. Who calls it B-dubs and who calls it BW3s? BW3 sounds ridiculous, and it takes longer to say. Be efficient with your speaking. B-dubs. BW3s. Buffalo Wild Wings. All right, let's go back to what Shane says about B-dubs. Blazing challenge. One time I was there, a 10-year-old wanted to try the challenge. Parents tried to convince him not to. He got to try it, took 2 bites and started crying. That's funny. That's funny. As long as he wasn't seriously hurt, that's funny. If he was seriously hurt, then we're not laughing, but we kind of are. Yeah, I've never even considered the Blazing Challenge. When I worked in radio, we did a thing with one of the apartment complexes, like campus apartment complexes. So the live broadcast, I think it was like Welcome Back. I think it was like the weekend, or the might have been the day classes started or something. And so what the hell was that apartment? Doesn't matter what the apartment complex was named, but they had like they were giving away a computer. They were giving away I don't know, just a bunch of giveaways, and B-dubs was there. There was free wings. The radio was there. Me. And I actually did, we did the Blazing Challenge, and it was gamified. There were like 4 or 5 contestants, and the winner, like freaking, like, I mean, you got college kids that probably haven't eaten in 3 days, and you put some B-dubs. It doesn't matter how blazing hot the wings are. They're going to mow through them. That dude, freaking the winner, just like 60 seconds. So I did play-by-play of the Blazing Challenge. Put that on my resume. Multifaceted multifaceted play-by-play announcer. His range goes from football, basketball, and softball to the Buffalo Wild Wings Blazing Challenge. I've also done parade play-by-play. This coffee's not as hot as it should be. Where are we at? Paul, what's going on? Good morning. Max in the house. What are you going to do after you? There you go. There's the question. It's already been answered. Gotta get it organized. Quitter says sports card ripping teacher, not going for $2 million. You need a QR code on your back that answers frequently asked questions. I think when I'm going to put some shirts together, do some customs through Obvious Shirts, and one of them is like, I have the shirt. You may have seen it on Facebook's Car Dealer Pro ads, which I love. I love that I'm all over your Facebook page. Says I have 900,000 plus Cubs cards. Well, when I get to 1 million, I've got to have a new shirt. Says I have over 1 million Cubs baseball cards. And then I'm going to put yes, including duplicates, because it is like it's the follow-up. Like what's this number mean? Well, that's how many Cubs baseball cards I have. Wow. Do you have any duplicates? Yeah, I have a lot of duplicates. And then they're disappointed. Oh, well, it's impossible to collect 1 million Cubs cards unless I start making 800,000 custom Cubs cards. Speaking of the 1 million Cubs project, there's going to be exciting news coming out. I don't have any details, and I'm not going to release anything just yet, but there's some talks for an exciting collaboration with the 1 million Cubs project. So, look forward to that. That's a tease. That's what they call a tease in this business. That's a tease. I know a big secret. What is it? I can't tell. Don't you hate it when that happens? I have big news, but you just gotta wait. What's up, Raphael? Raphael and cousin Nadia in the house. Shipping and listing and shipping. Can't wait for the Bargain Blocks Blowout show tonight, 7:30 p.m. Central Time. Sports card ripping teacher says, will you keep the total at 1 million? No. So if you get a new card, take one out of your duplicates. No, I will not do that. I think the first order of operation is getting them organized, getting them logged into trading card database, which is going to, I'll be 74 by the time this is all accomplished. I would like to help fellow Cubs collectors, because do I need, like, if I have an insert of like a Ryan Sandberg card, I don't need 12 of them. So, I've met, and that's the cool thing. Like, I not only do I meet other collectors, like, I don't want these Cubs cards, but I meet Cubs collectors that are like, oh man, I'd love to go through your stuff. I've got so many needs that I have. And so, to help fellow Cubs collectors out. And I intended to do kind of a Cubs trade night at Cubs convention. I didn't get organized enough to bring anything. But I'd love to take, I've got extra Justin Steele first chrome autos. I'd love to, dump one for something that I don't have. So it opens up, a whole new lane to drive down. Boomslang says, people have no idea how long and time consuming organizing extra large collections takes, hours on end. And before you know it, the day is over and you wonder what happened to the time. Amen. Like, it's just like, oh, I'm just going to sort these cards. And then when you take a box, just look in my card room, take a 4-row or a 5-row box and start sorting it. And then you're done. And it's like, shit, that was 3 hours. And then you go back and you see 400 more boxes. Like, oh, mother effer. Max says the Badgers need a new coach. No, they don't. I like Greg Gard. He's worn on me. I didn't really care at first. I just didn't like the whole transition between Bo Ryan and Greg Gard, how all that went down. But he's kind of grown on me, Greg Gard. Mark says, good morning. Sorting cards is very relaxing. Putting cards into sheets make you look at each card, which is the coolest thing about collecting. See, I don't have that same love of putting cards in pages, because usually I end up taking them out of pages, and it's like, God damn it, why did I do this? And now I'm just pissing away extra time. But I do like binders. I need to figure out, because I've binder, I guess, by a Padfolio, my autographs, but they're in no particular order. And but my autograph collection is always growing. And it's like, do I alphabetize? But then it's like, well, here's another bind. Like, I guess I could do, like, here's binder A, last name's A. I guess I could do that, and then they're just never full. It's always, adding to it. A's might go up fast. That's another thing, sorting, like the Cubs. It's like, I'll get to a box of like 2016, 2017, 2018. I'm like, there were a lot of A's and R's in those years. Anthony Rizzo, Addison Russell, James Russell. Who else was an R? You had Albert Almora, Adbert Alzolay. You also had a lot of what's the alliteration? Double A, Albert Almora, Adbert Alzolay. Who else was there? Were like, I think one year the Cubs had like 6 alliterative names on their roster. And of course I can only name 2 now. Well, who else was there? I don't know, but there were others. Who are the other alliterative? I'm going through the roster, like, okay. Shit. Now, okay, this is going to bother me. Now I've just got to go to the Baseball Reference. Was it 2016 World Series year? Let's see. Oh, that's current year. Come on. Where's the years? I don't want this year. I want past years. Cubs. I guess if I just type in like Chris Bryant, not an alliterative name, and I'm going to be like, oh, of course, this guy. So let's just go to 2016. If 2016 wasn't the year, then we'll just give up this practice. Miguel Montero, of course, Miggy. So you had Miguel Montero, Adbert Alzolay, Albert Almora, Chris Coughlin. Of course, I forgot him. Let's see. So that's 4. Mike Montgomery, who got the save. Maybe that's all. That was all. That was in 2016. Let's go to 2017. Let's see. Is there any? So we had Almora. John Jay joined the team. Alex Avila joined the team in 2017. You had Miguel Montero. Rene Rivera played in 20 games for the 2017 Cubs. There's just a lot of alliterative Cubs. Mike Montgomery again in 2017. Looks like that's all. There you go. Okay. Moving on. Michael Renicky, what's going on? Good morning. Tea Timers in the house. Good morning. Where we at? Bill Simus is here. Good morning. Committee selection. What's going on, Harlan? Committee selection. At large. That's what I was looking for. At large. At large. Johnny M says, good morning. Will there be 40 minutes of talk tonight before selling starts? Hopefully no. Hoping to not miss the non-sports box. This is a really good question, Johnny. I'm glad Johnny brought this up. So I think what we're going to do, because I know, so you're interested in the non-sports. Adam from the Dollar Box has expressed interest in the non-sports. So I think if you're in, we're going to let the audience. So if there's something you want, we will get to that box when you're in the chat. So if Johnny and Adam are both in the chat, they've both expressed interest in the non-sports box. Once you're both in and you're like, okay, I'm ready, I'll finish up, we'll finish up whatever box we're on. We'll go to the non-sport box. Maybe we start with it. Who knows? But I want, like, if you're interested, like, I want to tailor it to you. I just don't want to, oh, nope, we're not scheduling that until 8:30. We're not going to schedule anything. We're just going to go. If you want, you name the box. So, maybe we'll start baseball box number 1 and we'll do that one. And then Johnny's in the chat. Adam's in the chat. They're like, can you do the non-sport box? Absolutely. Somebody wants hockey. I think there's only one person that wants hockey. If he's in, if you want hockey, name it. Can you do hockey next? Absolutely. So we'll do it when you're there. So I don't want to do, there's not going to be a monologue. We're just going to rip the Band-Aid off and get to selling, right? So I don't want to there might be like 5 minutes of talk just to get, just to make sure people are all joined. So I'm going to try to cap it at 5 minutes and then we'll get to the sale. I don't want to, it's not going to be like Hobby Evolution where I'm going to tell you about the sushi order in the spicy sauce and all that bullshit. We're just going to 5 minutes of chatter and then boom, we're getting to the sale. If there's like 100 people waiting, we won't even do 5 minutes. Let's just rip that Band-Aid off. Paul says, I'm not a fan of sorting. After I finish the Lot app, I'm inventing a sports card sorting robot, like a Roka, but for sports cards. Do you know the guy that invented that has invented a sorting app or sorting robot? There's a guy that's done this. And actually, it's been 5 or 6 years ago, maybe even longer than that, probably. Because this was probably when I think it was when I was selling on Sport Lot. So if that was 2016, 2017, this guy on Blowout. Now, because somebody asked, like, how much would this be? And at that time, or even recently, it was like $10,000 or so. It was like something crazy. But there is a baseball card sorting robot that sorts it by, I think it can sort it by number, by tens. So he had like a stack of, let me see if I can find if you even type in baseball card sorting robot and baseball card sorting. It says I'm almost out of Google account storage. I thought it never ended. Let's see how a card sorting machine is revolutionizing trading cards. I don't think that's it. Oh, so you mentioned Roka Robotics. I don't think that's the same. Let's see, Blowout. Parker J33s. Oh, he's got a YouTube video. There's an ad. Views, which is a lot. So here, let's share the screen. So this is a guy from the Blowout forums,
and there's 2 buttons over here that we either sort by tens.
This is his baseball card
sorting
hundreds. Robot. Okay, so now he's just kind of showing us.
These are the
all right
10s, 390s.
So yeah, I think those are 2017 Topps Heritage that he's got there. Just judging by the back.
Stack of cards.
Oh, so he's got one of those. Looks like that's probably printed with 3D printing.
400 Heritage cards. Okay.
So yeah, search like baseball card sorting robot Blowout forums. Why the hell's this freezing?
Button here.
There we go. And
start by tens button.
This takes you to the
here we go.
To the Blowout. So there it is. Sorting. It's pretty slow. It's a slow. Like look at that. I don't know why this is.
And that was the 32039. That's the 330 stack.
Is this just on a
Previously, I've already run this to sort these into groups of hundreds. So this is my 300 stack.
Fix it up.
And it's sorting them into
there you go. So it's sorting. I think he's sorting these in tens. So it's reading it. Now it is placing it over there.
Now notice it takes a while.
So this video was put out like
because
6 years ago.
Cards get picked up. So.
But there you go. Baseball card sorting robot. 2017. Yeah, he posted this originally in September of 2017. I wonder if there's an update. I thought there was an update. Somebody was like, how much is this? And like $10,000. Oh, Sports Collectors Daily did a story about it in 2018. Is that what I... It doesn't say. Let's exit there. I thought he like quoted a price and it was like if you think the Rico Fujitsu scanners are expensive, just check out the price tag on the robot. Sports card ripping teacher says, I still feel like Ken Palm is a good indication before the pull. Absolutely. The only thing is Ken Palm and some of those other ratings don't really take into effect, atmosphere, bad blood, rivalries. But it is a pretty good indication. I think it is. I agree. It's a better indication than sports writers. Andy Mack, what's going on? Good morning. Mark F, what's up? Listening on my flight to Phoenix. Safe travels. I'll be on a plane in just over, I can't believe it's over, just over a month. Just over a month. I'll be on a plane to Phoenix. March 12th. Can't wait. I really need to get focused on getting my custom cards made for spring training to get autographed. Mark says, hey, I was the first member of the Hobby Evolution Facebook page. Hey, awesome. After John. Yeah, and probably before me. You were probably in there before I was. James says, whatnot fees are insane. Well, that's not good. Good morning, Flawed Thinker. Shane wants to know, what the hell is BW3s? I don't know. Actually, the first time I heard it, it was from an Iowa guy. He was from where? He was a coworker from, where was he from? I think Muscatine, maybe. And he called it BW3s. And I'm like, what the fuck is I said what you said. What the fuck is BW3s? That's a stupid way to say Buffalo Wild Wings or B-dubs. B-dubs. Thank you, Andy Mack. Shane says, who the hell is saying that? BW3s. People here. I had coworkers here. Maybe I have idiot coworkers. They're like, this guy pronounces Rollo, calling me an idiot. My coworkers here call it BW3s. I'm like, what the fuck? BW3s? Bob says it's B-dub-dubs around here. B-dub-dubs. I think I like BW3s better than B-dub-dubs. My brother orders blazing wings every time we go. It's the flavor he likes, and for a while would do the challenge every time we went. Then stopped because he hated the timed aspect of it. Yeah, you just want to enjoy some wings. You don't want to be put on a timer. Low roller scratcher might get his skill games back. Troy, good morning. Non-gents, he says. I don't think any other broadcaster has done all three major sports, dirt track and a blazing challenge. Yeah. I had one night of play-by-play at the dirt track. How about that? I have range. I'd say hire me, ESPN, but they're just going to fire me in 6 months. It's like, man, they're firing everybody. Sports Illustrated, ESPN, everybody's getting fired. Low Roller Scratcher says he's got jokes. I should collect the 1 million White Sox cards. Collector's Dream, Orlando, what's going on? Bob says, what if you did binders by set, especially for pre-junk wax when it was only one set a year? I've thought about that, and I do have some binders of minor league sets. I have thought about that. But here's the thing about bindering. I need, not only do I need to figure out what I want to put in the binders, I need to know, I want to have, what's the word I'm looking for? Uniformity when it comes to the binders I use. See the binder right behind me? Right there? That blue thing? It was the only padfolio they had at like a Pokemon shop I went to in Phoenix last year at spring training, because I didn't want to just put my autographs in a box. I like putting them in a padfolio. And it's like, well, do I put them in a box or do I buy this ugly ass padfolio? I ended up buying the ugly ass padfolio, and now it looks out of place because not only is it sky blue or whatever color that is, but it's also like bigger. It holds like 12 cards per page instead of 9. So I need uniformity in the binders. Do I use white binders? Do I use baseball card album binders? So those are the questions that I ask myself, and I never answer. Boomslang says binderizing, not a real word. Cards is tedious, and God forbid you miss us. Oh, I know. When I was a kid, when I was a set builder growing up, and I would, oh man, especially like a 792 card top set, you get like, you're in the 500s, you're cruising along, and all of a sudden you realize, and you've got to redo it all. Oh, somebody was talking about that out of YouTube. I think it might have been John Keating. Was it John and Mike, maybe? Junk Wax Hero Mike, talking about binders versus boxes. Was that it? Or no, they were talking about singles versus sets. Maybe I'm just making stuff up. I can't remember. But somebody was talking about bindering sets, and then all of a sudden, and then you miss one, and you're a couple hundred cards in. You don't want that. Raphael says, low roller scratcher cracks me up. Charlie says, are we all going to be like, yeah? Yes. That's a story for those that may not know. That's a Storage Wars reference. What was his name? Dave? Yep. Shane says to JC3, that should be a rule. Dave, yes, Dave was his name. Sport card ripping teacher says, Monty. Paul says, I saw the dude who did it on Blowout. Haven't met anyone involved in building any of them. Well, that's a bummer. Bill says, not sure if you mentioned this, but you have any basketball? Yes. I think I have 2 basketball boxes. So 2 basketball boxes. Sports card ripping teacher says, Miggy, not the hero we wanted, but the hero we needed. His slam is still one of my favorite moments. I will never forget where I was. Most of that postseason, is a blur to me. But I remember the moment. I think that moment, Miggy's grand slam, that is probably the moment I remember the most of that whole including the World Series win, Game 6, Game 7. But I remember that because it was a Saturday night. It was also the same time. That game was on at the same time as Ohio State, Wisconsin football. And my buddy Quincy and his wife Mallory were at our house. This is when my wife and I lived in our first house together. And we were flipping back and forth between the Wisconsin-Ohio State game, because both were I think in the top 10, and the Cubs game. And even though Quincy's a Cardinals fan, He's an all right guy though, despite that. And I think the Badgers were driving and may have even scored. And right after the touchdown, we flipped it just in time to see Miggy hit that grand slam. It was like Badger touchdown, turn the channel, Miggy Montero swing, grand slam. So I'll never forget that. Where we at? Paul says that dude's build is pretty sick. I don't want to reinvent the wheel when it comes to identifying the cards with the OCR. In a perfect world, maybe I can partner with ChronoCard or CDP and integrate into their AI. Santiago, what's up? First time live watcher. Can't believe I didn't hear from this earlier. Hey, I saw a couple of your comments. I apologize to anybody who has made comments on replays. I am terrible at responding. I usually see them and smile. So I'll go back. I'll have to go back and reply. So thank you for jumping on. We're going to go live again tonight at 7:30 p.m. Central. We're going to do a bargain box sale. All my bargain box, not all, but I've cherry picked the good stuff, and we're going to have some good stuff for sale. We're going to show them off, and you're just going to buy away. Shane says that sorting robot is actually pretty cool. Put a big stack in front of him before you go to. That's what I was thinking. Kind of like what we did growing up with Napster. It's like, oh, as long as you wait until mom and dad go to bed using the dial-up modem, get your queue on Napster set, and then you got to wake up before mom and dad wake up because you're still connected to the internet. Flawed Thinker says, now that's pretty cool. Just thinking about the engineering and software that someone had to do to make that. I know. Can you, blows my mind. Sports card ripping teacher says, correct on atmosphere, home dogs. Paul says the Roka ones are for TCG and are encased. I'm imagining something similar, but with more slots. Goal would be to have it sort by team or player. Ooh, that would be fun. The Roka sorters cost like $24,000 a year to run. Okay, maybe that's the number that I saw. I'm like, pretty cool. Not $24,000 a year cool. Sal Dougie, what's up? He's got a 3-day weekend. Awesome. Shane says, if someone I know called it BW3s, I would tell them to lose my number. Charlie says, yup, Muscatine, the pearl of the Mississippi, likes to call it BW3. Buffalo Wild Wings and WEC. BW3s. 68 people, only 10. Hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel. Shane says, sounds like something people from Muscatine would say. Christian says they were originally called Buffalo Wild Wings and WEC. Oh, really? I thought Charlie was just telling a joke. When they were mostly based in college towns. Interesting. What's WEC mean? Buffalo Wild Wings and WEC. Mikey's in the house. Good morning. He's excited about tonight. Bargain box bulk sale. Joe Olivo is putting binders together. For uniformity, I've been getting all black 3-inch heavy-duty 3-ring binders from Ultra Pro. Interesting. That's what I've been looking into. Like, do I want like baseball card album? Do I want just plain white, plain black? Do I want to go cheap and just because I bought like Costco at one time had like the 3-inch, I think they're 3-inch binders, like a 4-pack for like $10, which is really cheap for those binders. So I bought a pack and I haven't even they're still in the pack. I haven't used them for anything. And that was like 3 years ago. Justin, what's going on? I'm in for a football. Also, what will be the payment method? So ideally PayPal, it's going to be my PayPal account is business. So it's goods and services automatic. So it'll be PayPal goods and services. If you want to send Venmo's okay, but PayPal goods and services is going to be the payment. And that way there's protection, all that good stuff. Sports card ripping teacher says, I went to Bernie's to get a drink after vending. It was crazy. With the TV delay, we knew something happened, and 7 seconds later, we saw it. Bernie's and all of Addison was up for grabs. Man, I remember I wanted to go just to be there, but there was like $100, I think, was it Cubby Bear was $100 cover just to go in. Like, that's how insane it was. It's like, okay, because me and a buddy were going to go just for like the day and just hang out in Wrigleyville, and it's like, fuck this. I'm just going to stay on my couch. Low Roller wants to know, am I going to post the link of the robot in the chat? I can do this. Well, let me see. I deleted. Okay, here we go. Oh, that's the link to. Oh, wait. I got to go back to page 1. All right. Here's the video. Copy link and drop it in the chat. Robot video. There is the link to the robot video. Cooter says, I enjoy sorting sets, not sorting into years and sets. I agree with that. I much rather, if I have a box of like 2024 tops, hopefully we're less than a week away from from Series 1 2024 release next Wednesday, which is also Valentine's Day, guys. I'm hoping to get my notification that it's shipped this. So last year, Bowman, I received it on Saturday. Let's see. Has there been any movement on Series 1? My account. Orders still processing. So I'm guessing it'll be. I'm guessing Series 1 orders from the pre-orders on tops. I'm guessing they'll probably ship out Friday. That's my thought. They'll ship out Friday. We'll get them Monday. Hopefully. But going back to the comment. I'd rather sort the 2024 Top Series 1 as opposed to here's a box of cards. Because then you have to double sort. You've got to, here's 2020, here's 2021, here's 2022. And then you've got to sort from there. Paul's going to find it quick, so he might have beat me to it. Flawed Thinker says, I've had promotions, but they've never really worked. So I made a coupon yesterday and sent it out to all previous buyers. Had a buyer get a lot in about 10 minutes. Most cards someone bought from me. Yeah, absolutely. I try to send out a newsletter, and I did one yesterday about prospects. I don't think I really sold any prospect cards. But I had initially, when I set up a newsletter, it was automated like every week at the same time. It was sending out the same. And then I realized like a year later, like, oh my God, this is terrible. Like nobody's going to be reading. Nobody's going to be clicking on my links because it's the same thing every week. So then I just took the automation down, and now I'm just like, oh shit, I haven't sent out a newsletter. So I'll do like, okay, what's new in my store? Oh, next week I'll send one out on Top Series 1. Once I get those loaded into my eBay store, hey, shop my 2024 Top Series 1. There's Porter. What's going on? Good morning. JC3 says a beef sandwich. Weck. Interesting. I did not know that. Hey, speaking of food, did you know, and I think I'm going to go to Walmart today because I looked online and I think Walmart sells them. And Charlie probably knows this. Did you know Tombstone Pizza originated here in Wisconsin, I think in Medford, Wisconsin? I randomly saw this I get some of the wildest, weirdest posts show up in my Facebook feed, like from stuff that I don't even follow, but the Facebook algorithm knows that I click on weird shit. And so it was like the history of Tombstone Pizza. So it was Tombstone Pizza was a bar pizza here in Wisconsin. It was made at what was called the Tombstone, I think the Tombstone Tavern. There's more alliteration. The Tombstone Tavern. The reason it's Tombstone was it was named after the bar. The reason the bar was named Tombstone was because it was across the street from a cemetery. How about that? Did you know that? I did not know that. So I looked it up. So apparently, Tombstone Pizza, they sold. So the creator of Tombstone Pizza at the Tombstone Tavern or Tombstone Tap, whatever it was called, sold like the name to, I think, originally Kraft. And then Kraft sold it to whoever owns it now or vice versa, whatever. But it's gone through a couple major corporations. And so, but he didn't sell the recipe. So he, like when he sold it, like made a deal, like he could still sell pizzas, like the pizzas he made, but it just had to be under a different name. And so I think his name was Pep. And so there's now Pep's Pizza. and they're frozen pizzas, just like Tombstone. And apparently these are like the original. And so I'm reading the comments because you get more context in the comments to these posts. And so people are like, yeah, I grew up and I used to 10 bar at the Tombstone. Like you get all these locals talking about it. And so Pep's Pizza is sold frozen pizza. And apparently it's like the original recipe to Tombstone. And all these people are like, yeah, the Kraft ruined it. Tombstone pizza is not the same. You should have had the original. It was so good. And then I start thinking like, damn, I wish I had the original Tombstone pizza. And even, and like people were saying, like, apparently Jack's Pizza was also like, it was created by a guy named Jack, like here in Wisconsin. Like, holy shit. I didn't realize we were the mecca of frozen pizza. But people were saying like, yeah, they ruined Jack's too. And like Jack's Pizza today sucks compared to what I remember growing up. Like when I get a Jack's Rising Crust pizza, it doesn't even like even 30 years ago when I had, like, it doesn't taste it. And I know they were corporate back then, but maybe they changed the recipe. Anyway, there's a little background, Tombstone Pizza. So now I want to have a Pep's Pizza, and maybe tonight, because I've got to get some, I'm out of coffee creamer and toothpaste. Those are two necessities that I have to have. So I'll hit Walmart. I'll get toothpaste, coffee creamer, and a frozen pizza. So Pep's Pizza. Find it in your frozen pizza aisle. Paul says, can also search YouTube for baseball card sorting robot. Shane says, speaking of dial-up, why don't we have a bunch of random noises when we open the internet anymore? I don't know. I don't think I would want that. Maybe once for nostalgia, but then it's like, okay, I'm done. Weck rolls. They are salted and seeded on top, used with roast beef. There you go. We are learning all about food today. Paul says, I'll post the link in the Facebook group too, actually. That's probably a user for everyone. Easier for everyone. Then you can have it after the live. There you go. That's a good point. Low Roller wants to know if I accept cryptocurrency. I will not be accepting cryptocurrency. Not Bitcoin, not Dogecoin, not Litecoin, not Ethereum, not everything else. Brian says, are you charging tax tonight? All inclusive. So the price is the price. That's what you pay. So if it sells for $80, that's what you pay. $80, that's goods and services. You don't have to, it's not net to me. Hate that. It's not plus shipping. It's not plus tax. It's everything is all inclusive. So the price that you pay is the price that you pay. $80 is $80. Where are we at? Sports card ripping teacher says, just to get a table, crazy. Yeah. Insane. Cooter says, all my sets are in white binders with matching labels. Player collections are in black binders with labels. Oh, that's next level. I like it. The key is making sure binders are full so cards don't sag. And that's another thing. Like, you don't want those pages to sag, and then you have to spend, I know there's pages that are better than others that don't sag. Like I've got some cheapy binder pages and they just fall. Like, you don't want that. Santiago says, I'm a Cubs fan, but I'm from Oswego. I think an acquaintance of mine, somebody that I went to high school with, I think he's a coach in Oswego. Joe Schmidt. I don't know if you're familiar with him. I don't know. But at one time he was in Oswego. And he was a collector at one time too. I think he got back into it. Like he was in it. Of course, we all were in the early 90s. But I know he got back into it 10 years ago, probably. Anyway, and I'm excited for that Noah Schultz card. Noah Schultz. Yeah, there's going to be some Noah Schultz in there. And if so basically we're going to pull, like, I don't know what contents are in. So we're just going to like pull out the boxes. I'm going to start going through. If you're like looking for a Noah Schultz, because I know I have some first Bowman Noah Schultz, like say, hey, can you put Noah Schultz in there? I probably can't. Like Noah Schultz is because I know I've got like a ton of Noah Schultz first Bowman. So that's something I could find pretty easy and put one in there. If it's like I'm looking for a 1987, well, that probably would be easy to find too. A 2004 Fleer Platinum David Ortiz, not going to be able to do that. But I probably could find some stuff. Brian says, I set up automatic offers to old buyers and it's annoying. They counter and I don't see that it sent out an offer and I counter higher than my auto offer. That happens to me too. Then they ask, why did you go up in price? That also happens to me. Yes. Because somebody will counter. So I'll send a 10% off. Say it's $1.50 card. I'll send a 10%, just mass 10% off, which is $1.35, and then they'll counter at $1.25, and then I counter at $1.40, and it makes me look like an asshole. So yes, I agree, that is annoying. There's Brian. What's going on? Good morning. Low Roller says you are not paying taxes by not including the sales tax. That is not how paying taxes works. Low Roller Scratcher. Just because I'm not charging an additional tax does not mean I'm not paying my taxes, because I report the sale and then the IRS charges me taxes and I pay the taxes. So that's what we're doing. We're all tax exempt resellers. Duh. Justin says, I got my notification yesterday for 2024. The hell is that? It's windy outside. Already moving. Unicorn Cupcake says, crypto guy. Oh, wait. Is this about series 1? I got my notification yesterday for 2024, already moving. So this is series 1. Whew. I've not got my notification. Damn it. Justin's going to beat me. Unicorn Cupcake says, crypto guy talking about taxes. That's rich, right? Mr. Skill Game. Brian says, picked up a huge Nolan Ryan for my PC. I sent a lowball offer and won 68 Kuzman Ryan tops. Ooh, that's fancy. Very nice. Shane says, what are the advantages of binders versus sleeved cards in a 3-row or other way around? Or is it best to leave unsleeved for long periods of time? I don't necessarily think there's an advantage per se outside of what your preference is. If you like looking through a binder your cards. If you like, I don't like bindering cards. Some people love it. Some people like but I don't have that same feeling about bindering cards. So I think it's not really an advantage outside of your own personal preference. Sports Cards, Winterhaven says, where is the sale tonight? I'd be down for the hockey. You got it. Right here on this YouTube channel. In fact, right after this show, I'm going to I got to create a thumbnail and I'll create the link. So it's going to be here on this YouTube channel, 7:30 p.m. Central. And the link will be up here in the next hour or so. Paul says, for anyone who resells and hasn't done it already, it's easy to get tax exemption on eBay, so you don't pay taxes for buys that you are reselling. There you go. Shane says, when you have cards in sleeves and binders, over the years, they tend to get stuck to each other, and if not super careful, can peel off parts of the card. And I think that's more of the plastic that I think now it's not as bad as, some of those pages in plastic they used in the 80s and into the 90s were terrible for that. And I think it's much better today with the types of plastic they're using. Unicorn Cupcake sends congrats to Brian. Cooter says binders allow for easy viewing of your collection. It's more of a personal preference. Like if you binder, you can, like, I enjoy looking through a binder. Like this binder back here had folio. Even though I don't like the size of it. But I just like looking at the cards. These are my autographs. And sometimes I just like, oh, there's Luis Vasquez, James Triantos. You just like, and sometimes I'm like, what's my favorite card on this page? And what's cool about what I like about in-person autographs. So we'll take, for example, this page. Like, I kind of know, like, there's usually a story behind these autographs. Like Michael Arias, who's now on the 40-man roster, when he saw these cards, like, he had never been on a baseball card. Like, he didn't at the time, last spring training, he didn't even have a minor league baseball card. So he had never seen a baseball card with him on it. And so he's like, whoa, like, he was like shocked. And so he took a picture. He like sent it to his family. So there's cool stories that are attached to in-person autographs. Moises Ballesteros. I think I got these. I think he signed those coming out of the bathroom. So at the spring training complex, the bathrooms, like for the players, are the same bathrooms that the fans use. So Ballesteros was coming out of the bathroom and he's walking back to one of the fields, and I'm like, "Hey Moises, can you sign for me?" And I don't like doing that, but I hadn't caught him yet. So he actually turned, like he looked at me and signed for me, and he like turned down like all the others, and I kind of felt bad. Not really, but he's super nice guy. So they're like, that's what I like going through my binder because it triggers memories. It's kind of like going through a picture album, and you go through a binder, and it's like it brings back like, oh, I remember Moises coming out of the bathroom. He signed those for me. Or Michael Arias had never seen himself on a baseball card and takes photos to send to his family. Like those are the stories that, you know, come back to mind when I flip through my autograph binder. Cooter says boxes are great for accumulating and storing cards, never to be seen again. That's very true. And that's why I want to find a binder system. You know, do I need to binder all freaking 35,087 Topps Cubs cards? No. But maybe like a set, you know, maybe here's my 1980s Cubs team sets. The more I talk this out, the more I'm like, that's good. But again, there are binders, but they're expensive to where the pages won't sag, where they're like enclosed. There's also top loader binders. I need to buy a top loader binder because I think I want to put my Adon Sanchez in a top loader binder. But it's like there's only 55 Adon Sanchez cards, and the binders are like 212 top loaded cards. But I did find one where it also holds like 4 slabs, and I think I have 2 Adon Sanchez slabs, and I'm bidding on one. I got outbid this morning. I gotta put another bid in. Shane says, get lots of cards stuck to inside of sleeves, especially from the 90s and early 2000s. I would think you would have to switch them or move them every couple of years. I think it just depends on the sleeves that you're using. And again, I think most modern sleeves prevent that. Let's see. Shane says, I guess I didn't think of sleeve plastic getting better. Santiago says, I just watched the video on how you list bulk items with a scanner and with Card Dealer Pro. I'm new, so I don't have all that, but how was your listing process before all the goodies and how fast? I kind of grew. Initially, I was just listing from my phone. And from that point, I started listing using eBay File Exchange, which is free. There's a template you can use. And so I was taking photos, and this is how I like started doing my volume listing. I would take photos with my phone, and then I would upload them to a photo hosting site called Image Shack, which was subscription based. It was like $16 for an entire year, unlimited photo storage. And then I would copy and paste the image links into the spreadsheet. And then I would like type in the spreadsheet. And I think using File Exchange, it was a very tedious process, but I was still able to list about 120, 130 cards per hour, which was much faster than I was probably at 40, maybe 50 an hour using my phone. So that's how I was doing it. And then I realized when I decided to go full time, I'm like, there is no way in hell I can scale up doing this. So that's when I got the scanner. So I was scanning the photos and then uploading them to Image Shack, and then doing that, the spreadsheet before I was using Card Dealer Pro, that like doubled the efficiency, and then Card Dealer Pro just blew it out of the water. Let's see. Brian says there's always a good story with in-person autos. Absolutely. Sometimes there's not. Sometimes it's like Zach Davis. I'm like, I have no recollection of getting that autograph. But sometimes there are. Cooter says, binder a master set of unique Cubs cards by set year, all doubles go in boxes. That's kind of what I was thinking. Like a master set of by set. I also want to do player binders. Like I have a lot of aspirations, it's so time consuming. It's like, how do I, do this? Boomslang says, I think old 9-pocket pages used PVC, and that is the problem. Now they don't use PVC. Yes, I think that's exactly it. JW says, got me a top loader binder for my Nico Horner rookie PC. Works great, costs $40. Nice zip up, helps keep any dust out. Yeah, and I think the one that holds some PSA slabs, I think that one was 40. I've seen them on Amazon as low as like $25, which is pricey for a binder, but it's not like I'm not going to go out and buy 100 binders, top loader binders. What I would be looking at if I want a binder, the 80 tops set run or the 80s set runs of Cubs, where it's 88 tops, 89 tops, 87, so on and so forth. I'd be looking at a cheap Costco binder, maybe a $5 binder. You can get, I think in bulk, you can buy the nice baseball card binders on Ultra Pro or wherever for like $5, I think, if you buy them by the case. But I do want some nice, I like the pad folios for my autographs. I would get a top loader binder for, like my Adon Sanchez, where, I want a little more protection. Cooter says, Shane, pages have become safe over the 50 years of my collecting. Let's not talk about the early PVC pages. They would literally laminate to your cards. I'll be right back because I probably have an example of really shitty PVC pages. Okay. I thought I had more examples, but I get, in Goodwill pallets, I get binders all the time. So this, as you see, probably an older album. This is 88 score. Actually, it's not as bad as I thought. So I guess that's a shitty example. But I'll get binders that just the pages are just glued together, and good luck trying to get cards out. Let's see. Shane says, that's the crap I was thinking about. Used to. It's what I grew up on and have been out of cards for a while till about a year ago. Just assumed it was all the same crap. So that's what I had for today. Don't forget tonight, 7:30 p.m. Central, we will do the bargain box bulk sale. So again, I'll talk about what I touched on earlier. If there's a couple people have mentioned they're interested in the non-sports box. So if those that requested that are in, we'll start it off. So it's basically going to be an auction format. We're going to start the price. All prices are going to start at $80 shipped. That includes tax, shipping, everything. Your all-in price is what you're going to pay. So it'll be $80, which is going to range between 5 and 6 cents per card. And if more than one person is interested at $80, then we go into auction. If only one person, we'll give it a couple minutes. If only one person wants it, sold $80. If nobody wants it, I'll just put them back in my quarter boxes. So that's how we'll go. If we say we start off with the non-sport box, we sell the non-sport box. Somebody says, can you do hockey next? I can't stick around for long. Can you do a baseball box? we'll do requests. Like, okay, what do you want next? So we'll just, it's going to be kind of by demand. Whoever says whatever, okay, coming up next. If somebody says, I will give, like, if we get like 3 people that comment like baseball, football, hockey, just tell me you've got to go. I'll give preference to somebody who says I can only be on here for another 30 minutes, or I've got other things to do. So I will give preference to somebody that gives me a good excuse. And you don't even have to give me a doctor's note. So that's how we'll roll it. 7:30 p.m. Central tonight. There won't be a monologue. I won't talk for an hour before we start the sale. We're going to start at 7:30. We may give it a couple minutes. You know, I'll probably fire the stream up a few minutes early, just to get that YouTube algorithm churning and let people know I'm live. May wait 5 minutes, let people get in. So maybe 7:35. Just make sure you're in by 7:35 if you want to be here at the start. And we'll get the sale started. And what I'm going to do is so each box. So here's the football box. So they're these long, medium, flat rates. Football box 1. So I'm just going to there's 3 boxes in each. So this one has 500 cards. So I'm like, okay, here's box 1 out of box 1. It's like, okay, it's got, it's going to have a bunch of rookies. Maybe I'll do this. I don't know. Maybe I should get another camera. But here's a Joe Montana card. We've got some random rookie cards from Legacy. So there's going to be rookie cards and all that, like $80. Anybody interested right now? And move on to the next one. And I'll try to pick out, I want to show both, I want to show you that there's a Ruben Drones card. I don't know if it's not numbered. Fleer Showcase. It's an insert, but there's also going to be Joe Montana. So there's some I think this is Heritage. So there's a stack of Heritage cards. I think these are all like common players, but it's a set that, this stuff sells on eBay. So it's lower end. It's, it's going to be like your $1.75 stuff. There's going to be stuff that's going to be able to sell for more than that. There's going to be inserts, refractors, colors. So we'll just go box by box. I'm not going to show every card. I'm just going to try to grab a sample of, okay, here's Ruben Drones. Here's Joe Montana. Here's a refractor. Here's serial number. Here's color. So that's how we'll go. If somebody's like, yeah, I'll take that for 80, we'll give it a couple minutes. If nobody else wants in, first person that says they get it for $80, we'll move on to the next one. Hey, I wanted the hockey box. We'll do the same thing. If nobody is interested, we'll just set it aside. Maybe we'll come back to it. Maybe it goes back in my quarter boxes for a card show. If somebody is interested, like I want that for $80, I want that too. Now, okay, first person, I'm going to start using names. Okay, Justin wants this for $80. Shane was also interested. Okay, Shane, you got to put a bid in. And Shane's like, well, I don't want to pay more than $80. Nobody else comes in. Justin wins it for $80. Shane's like, yeah, I'll do 85. Justin comes back. Well, I'll do 90. Shane's like, I'll do 95. Justin's like, I'll do 100. Shane's like, I'm out. Nobody else comes in. Sold for 100. So that's how we're going to run it. Payment, PayPal goods and services. I'll have that scrolling so you know as well. It's PayPal goods and services. If you want to pay Venmo, you can do that. PayPal goods and services protects you as the buyer. That's what my PayPal account is default to anyway. I can't accept friends and family with my account. So it's PayPal goods and services. So any last questions about tonight's sale that I may not have touched on before we go live in 12 hours, actually 11 hours, 7:30 p.m. Central tonight. We're going to have, I think, 16 boxes, 7 baseball, 4 football, 2 basketball, 1 soccer, 1 hockey, 1 non-sport. I think that's 15 or 16. Shane, thank you for jumping on. Hopefully I'll see you tonight. Justin says, sorry, 8 minutes behind of the feed. Yeah, Series 1 could be because I'm in Arizona. Oh, that's a good point. So you're in the furthest zone. So so my is so you got your notification yesterday, which was what, Wednesday? So yes, I bet I get my notification Friday. So I bet I get my shipping notification Friday because I'm probably 2 days ahead of you on ship time. Does that make sense? You're in Arizona, I'm in Wisconsin. So I would imagine I'll get my shipping notification today or tomorrow, Thursday or Friday, and hopefully have it at my door on Monday. So that's okay. That's good to know. That's good to know. Thank you, Justin. So Justin in Arizona received his notification from shipping from Topps Series 1 yesterday. So they're starting to move. Series 1 baseball season's almost here. Brian says top loader binders on Amazon as low as $20. Nice. Yep. Yep. And you can do that. You can use that as a claim. Dave. All righty. Hey, speaking of charts, so JC 3 cards and collect. I was able to catch some of the show last night. I'll catch all of it next week because I'll be a guest on Adam and Charlie's show. They go live every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Central. And I will be joining the crew next Wednesday night. So looking forward to it. I usually catch the show on replay, which I'll catch most of it on replay. I did watch a little bit of it last night. So next Wednesday night, it's the Dollar Box channel. And let me drop that link. Oh, there it is. It shows up right on my So here's I think this is the link to last night's show. There it is. So that's the link to last night's show, the Dollar Box Live, Wednesday nights, 8 p.m. Central. Next week, I will be on with Adam and Charlie and the GOAT, Stuart, next Wednesday night. And Low Roller Scratcher, before we go, gives us a cryptocurrency update. Bitcoin, it's back at 45K. There you go. Go out, buy your crypto. It's coming up Millhouse for Low Roller Scratcher. He's going to get his skill games back, and Bitcoin is on the way back to the moon, rocket ship. All righty, that's what I had for today. If you haven't already, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit up my eBay store if maybe tonight's sale isn't your thing with bulk inventory. Hit up my store for singles, 99centcards.com. Link in the description. Buy 7 or more at regular price. You will receive 25% off your order. So, again, like, subscribe. 11 hours from right now, we'll be doing the Bargain Box bulk sale right here on this very YouTube channel. I need to refill my coffee, put in some breakfast burritos, and I will get the link started so you have a place to go and wait for tonight's sale. Have a great Thursday, and we'll see you tonight.